Hello, my name is Josh Obrecht, and I am a GIS analyst with the ACPF National Hub. In this video, we're going to discuss the second utility provided by the ACPF Toolbox, Get NASS CDL by Year. The NASS Cropland Data Layer, or CDL, for the ACPF has been assembled to support agricultural conservation planning in the conterminous United States. The Get NASS CDL by Year tool allows ACPF users to augment the current years of land use data found in the traditional ACPF database structure or to create new land use data for an empty ACPF database. The tool will extract the NASS CDL data for the input year or years and modify it to work within the ACPF processing framework for the selected watershed. It is important to note that not all states have the same period of record when it comes to the NASS CDL. Some states, such as Illinois and North Dakota, have data back to 1999, while others have fewer years of data. The conterminous 48 states have a complete record starting in 2008. If you input a year that is incongruent with the state's period of record, the tool will ignore the selection. The NASS CDL data will be extracted to the boundaries of the input buffered boundary feature class. Traditionally, this is the ACPF buff feature class, which was established as a 1,000-meter buffer around the watershed's field boundary feature class. The output land use raster will use the ACPF naming convention for land use data. For example, for 2009, it is WS CDL 2009. The output land use raster will have the same projection as the input buffered boundary feature class. The ACPF land use lookup table is used to populate required fields in the ACPF land use rasters. A copy of this table is included in the ACPF install directory. Valid years that can be chosen in this tool are any of the years from 2001 to 2022. In ArcGIS Pro, I have added the watershed boundary in yellow and the buffered boundary in orange. In the catalog window, if we expand our ACPF geodatabase, we can see that we have our boundary, our buffered boundary, and the 4 associated results from our Get ACPF Soils Data utility. We will run the second utility to add some of the NASS CDL layers to our geodatabase. If we expand the ACPF toolbox underneath toolboxes and expand the utilities drawer, we will double click on Get NASS CDL by Year to open it. The first input for this tool is the buffered boundary feature class. We will select that from the drop-down. Next, we need to select the years of the CDL data that we would like to obtain. In the drop-down, we have all the years from 2001 to 2022, and we can select those individually. However, if you would like to select multiple years, this down arrow next to Select Desired Years allows you to add multiple selections. We will click that, and we are presented with checkboxes for each of the years that were in our drop-down. We can select these individually, or we can select all by clicking on the top checkbox next to the search box. We will click the Add button to add them into our tool. We can see that the first selection that we chose from the drop-down is also included. We do not need that, so we will click the X to the left of that box to remove it. We now have all of our 2001 to 2022 CDL layers selected. Our last input is the Input ACPF Land Use Lookup table. We will click on the folder next to the drop-down as this table is not in our map. We know that this land use lookup table is included in our folder for our installation. So we will go to that location. Click on this PC, double click on our C drive, and then double click the folder that contains our toolbox. There we have our lookup table, ACPF CDL Lookup 2022. Click that once and then click OK at the bottom of the window. Once all of our selections are provided, we will click the Run button. Let's click View Details underneath the progress bar. We can see what year it is processing and how many classes are included within our buffered boundary for that year. Once the tool is finished running, we will open up our catalog window by clicking on the Catalog tab. Right-click on the geodatabase and choose Refresh. We now have all of the crop data layers from 2001 to 2022. Click and hold and drag into our window. We can now see all the classes that are included within that layer. If we right-click on the crop data layer from our table of contents and choose Attribute Table, we can see a class name, a rotational value, a prime name. We also have IsAg for whether that kind of crop class is agricultural or not. To recap, we discussed why you would need to run the second utility in the ACPF toolbox, Get NASS CDL by year. The next video will be the third utility, Update Edited Field Boundaries.